The 7 Steps Method for Ethical Decision Making. By Michael Davis. Number 1. State the problem. It may be something specific, some feeling, or thought, that has led you to think you have a possible ethical problem. What is it? For example, there's something about this decision that makes me uncomfortable, or, do I have a conflict of interest? Number 2. Check the facts. Gather and assess relevant facts in the case. At this step, it is important to address the non-ethical issues raised within the case. For example, one may need to know the legal constraints of the decision, technical aspects that loom large, or other issues. Since it is impossible to include all facts in a case study, frequently you will have to make assumptions based on the information you have. Many problems disappear upon closer examination of the situation, while others change radically. Number 3. Identify relevant factors. For example, the persons involved, applicable laws, professional codes or standards, and other practical constraints. Such as, for example, the gift you have received would create a clear conflict of interest if it were really large, but it is worth only $25. Number 4. Develop a list of options. What other actions or decisions are available to you besides the original one that started you thinking? Be imaginative. Try to avoid dilemmas. Look for something besides a simple, yes, do it, or, no, don't do it. Consider whom to go to, and the perspectives and/or help they can give, not just what to say or do. Number 5. Test the options. Use such tests as the following. A. Harm test. Does this option do less harm than the alternatives? B. Publicity test. Would I want my choice of this option published in the newspaper? Would I want my grandma to know? C. Defensibility test. Could I defend this choice of option before a committee of peers, or a congressional committee, without appearing self-serving? D. Reversibility test. Would I still think this choice of option was good if it were applied to me instead of others, especially if some of the effects are adverse? E. Colleague test. What might my profession's governing board or ethics committee say about this option? F. Organization test. What does my organization's ethics officer or legal counsel say about this? G. Virtue test. Would a virtuous person do this? What kind of person does this? What kind of person would I become if I did this kind of thing all the time? If an option fails all of these tests, it is unlikely to be ethically acceptable. If an option passes all of them, it is probably ethically acceptable. If the results are mixed for all of the options, then the options will have to be weighed against each other, in terms of how well they meet the tests. Number 6. Make a choice of option based on steps 1 to 5. Number 7. Make a final choice. Review steps 1 to 6. What could you do to make it less likely that you would have to make such a decision again? A. Are there any precautions you can take as an individual? For example, announce your policy on the question, change jobs, etc. B. Is there any way to have more support next time? C. Is there any way to change your organization? For example, suggest policy changes at the next department meeting. So, how can we apply these 7 steps in a practical situation? Let's take this example. Scenario: you are a project manager for a construction company. A vendor you've been working with offers you expensive concert tickets as a thank you for your recent business together. How can we apply the 7 steps? First, state the problem. Do you accept the gift from the vendor, which could be a conflict of interest, or decline it and potentially damage the business relationship? Second, check the facts. 1. What is the company's policy on gifts from vendors? 2. How expensive are the tickets? 3. Is there a pattern of the vendor giving gifts? Third, identify relevant factors. 1. Potential for bias in future dealings with the vendor if you accept the gift. 2. Maintaining a positive working relationship with the vendor. 3. Company policy and potential disciplinary action for violating it. 4. Your own ethical principles on accepting gifts. 4th, develop a list of options. 1. Accept the gift. 2. Politely decline the gift and explain your reasoning. 3. Offer to pay for the tickets yourself if you truly want to go. 4. Report the offer to your supervisor for guidance. 5th, test the options. 1. Accepting the gift. This could create a sense of obligation to the vendor and potentially influence your future decisions. Consider the publicity test. Would you be comfortable if everyone knew you accepted the gift? 2. Declining. This might cause tension with the vendor, but protects your professional integrity. 3. Paying yourself solves the conflict of interest but may strain your budget. 4. Reporting shows transparency but might damage the vendor relationship. 6th. Make a choice based on your company policy, your comfort level, and the potential consequences. You might choose to decline the gift and explain your reasoning to the vendor. Lastly, review, reflect on your decision. Could you have prevented this situation by clarifying company gift policy beforehand? Discussing clear boundaries with vendors from the outset can help avoid ethical dilemmas in the future. By following these steps, you can navigate an ethical dilemma in a thoughtful and transparent way.